guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be putting together some beautiful raised beds for Monica and Nick's garden. I'm really excited for this project. I want to go through all of the supplies and all of the measurements and types of wood and all that sort of thing. Monica and Nick, so for those of you who haven't seen the previous couple of videos where we've been working on their space, Monica is my sister. Maybe we can link those videos down below this one. But they built a home last fall and it was a sloped space. So the garden from their house sloped down to a fence. So we've put in a terrace, so a beautiful rock wall. So now they're dealing with some level areas to garden. And now they want to have a space for some vegetable and fruit production. I am at our house to start off this project because that's where we're going to do the bulk of our building. That's where my power tools are. And I have put one together already, but I wanted to show you what we're kind of going for. This is our raised bed garden. And the amount of space that we're dealing with at Monica and Nick's is quite a bit smaller. So what we're going to try to do is this sort of formation with the L-shaped beds, but just condensed a little bit. So ours measure 3 foot by 6 foot. And we spaced them, I can't remember, 4 feet maybe right here. It's been so long since we put them together. We used redwood at the time. They were 2 by 10s or 2 by 12s. And they've held beautifully and they gray out into that natural gray color. I just love it. Let me show you how the first raised bed for their garden space turned out. I'm just so thrilled with it. Look at this, you guys. Oh, it turned out so beautifully and it's such a beast of a raised bed. I mean, they're heavy. They're not going anywhere once we get them in place. You can see how we've put them together on the inside, angle brackets, because we wanted this detail right here, this 4x4 post and the copper caps, which we will be gluing on once we get them all in place. Monica is a huge fan of copper, and when she saw us install the copper capped raised beds from Gardener's Supply at my sister-in-law's house this spring, she was like, oh, I love those. But they come in 3x3 and 3x6, so it didn't quite fit the sort of feel or the layout of their space. She really wanted kind of that L detail, so it'd create almost like a little courtyard feel where she could put a pot in the center or something like that. So I thought, you know what? I think we could put those together. I don't think it'll be super difficult. I mean, I think the hardest part of the whole deal is how heavy all the lumber is. But I did try to prepare as much as possible. Monica actually came over the other night and we did a bunch of cutting for this first bed and tried out some brackets that didn't end up working. We had to take them back. So I'm kind of glad we did a little bit of prep work first, because sometimes it takes getting into the project to realize like you either don't have the right stuff or, you know, whatever, multiple trips to the store. Benjamin and I, though, we came out here last night and we cut all the pieces. So our long runs are 54 inches right here. So from this point to the other post, 54 inches, and then the posts are 3.5. So that makes 5 feet total. And then the ends here, so this one and this one are 24 inches from post to post, which makes the ends 31 inches. And then this piece here is 28 inches, and then the next one is 26.5 in order to make it work properly, because we didn't want to do another post here. That would have been just a little bit too much. We do have to run to the store. I want to get another metal bracket that will hold these two together. I don't want to rely just on screws right there, because, you know, even doesn't matter what kind of wood you're using, you get water and soil up next to these and they will swell and warp and that sort of thing. We figured out along the way that bracing them like this isn't quite as strong as bracing them like this. So going straight up and down. Let me give you a close look at this bracket. Simpson Strong Tie A35Z. I don't know if that makes any sense. I just cannot wait to see all of these set up in her space and filled with soil. She's actually been hauling raised bed mix home from work all throughout last week so that we would have enough bags to do it, to get it done today. And I will run, we're not going to run the drip system in these beds. We'll do that a different day, but I will make sure to have the drip run up underneath them before we fill them this time. So what we'll be doing here before we transport everything to her house is we'll be putting together all of our long runs, because we can put our 2x8s together and strap them. And then we can fix all of the brackets to the 4x4 posts. And then once we're there, we can just assemble the whole thing. I think it'll be seamless. We'll see. Oh, is Monica here? She's got the breakfast? Yes. Yay. So you didn't get to see it put together the other night.
It's so pretty. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh, and this is stout.
It is. Try to lift
like
it.
this is like time.
Yeah.
This is eternal.
It is eternal. It's going nowhere.
No.
Which makes me happy.
Wow.
So I think what we're going to do is assemble all that we can here, and then we're going to load it up and take it out to Monica's. So here we go. All right, guys, so we made it to Monica's house. We haven't started to unload the truck yet, and Monica's inside fixing us something for lunch. It took us the better part of the morning to get all of those sides assembled and all of the brackets attached to these side posts, but I think it's going to be pretty easy. Once we get everything unloaded and set in place, we should just have to attach the sides to the posts and then attach the copper caps, get them set in their spots, and then fill them up. I hope. I do want to give you a look around though, because there are a couple of new things since the last time we were in this space. Starting on this side, there isn't anything new, I don't think, other than the fact that Monica did put the landscape fabric down last night so that we could get the bed set on top of it, and we are hoping that we have enough time to mulch around them today. I also hope we have time to rework this wall. Once we got it planted, I knew that it just wasn't, like, the balance was going to always be off. And so we're going to set our beds, get everything centered with this arbor, you know, right here. And we're going to plant another lilac in the corner rather than that one arborvitae. And we're going to dig up and repot 2 and get them out and just center 3 arbs right in the middle. I think in the long run, the balance will be really nice because this garden, on this side at least, is a very balanced space. But on this side, Monica and Nick built this trellis. Isn't that perfect? It looks so great right here. And it fits in wonderfully, like with the feel of the space and the black arbor over there. They've got 2 honeysuckles sitting here. That's what they're gonna grow. And they've got room to put a few more little things if they decide to do that. Also, Pedro finished over here. So, you know, I think the last time we were here, the rock stairs were in and this rock wall was in. But what they did is they ran some rebar down into the ground and then built up this little wall right here so that no soil, you know, we had to fill in soil here because we wanted to, you know, have this all elevated and level. We didn't want it resting against the fence. So it's not. It's got a nice, strong, sturdy wall all the way to the very end. So the fence is protected and now, you know, they can plant right here. We also made sure that there was drip access on both sides because what we're gonna do is we are going to, well, let me go over here. Actually, no, here, I think there's a drip access. Yeah, so we'll be running off of this drip tube right here. We'll be tapping into this black poly, which they ran a pipe up into this bed where we can run and water these things, tap in here, and then run over to water this bed here. And then this one will be watered on this side. There's a drip access up in the bed. It's all working out super smooth. I'm very excited about it. The next time we're here, we're gonna be working on all of the drip and mulching all of the flower beds. Once that's done, they are gonna be planting the grass. But anyway, I think what we're gonna do at this point, we're gonna eat lunch real quick, and then we're going to unload all the pieces. And we do have to make one more store run for one more thing, and then we will start assembly. goodness, you guys, look at these raised beds. So we're at a point where we've got them all leveled up. Like we had to put some shims underneath these couple because the ground still does slope a little bit just to help facilitate water drainage. We had to do that underneath ours in our raised bed garden as well. So we've got them all leveled, all positioned, measured out perfectly in this space, and they look so great. Oh, I just love it. You know, the best part about getting these raised beds set up in this space is that Monica keeps saying everything that we keep doing in here just makes the area feel bigger. And it really does. We didn't figure that there would be much space, like a little bit of space in the center for a small something, but there's quite a lot of space in there. And so now she's thinking of different fountain options, and there's quite a bit of space at the back too. So as we walk in and through, you can see the space in the center, how great that looks. And then back in here, which I don't think we're gonna have time to reconfigure this wall today. We'll do that probably in about a week or so. But there's plenty of room for a bench back here. A hose system is gonna be right back in this corner, and plenty of room to get back. You can see our next steps are sitting right here in front of us. We've got to do black poly underneath, just underneath the side. We're not gonna hook it up to the system today. And then Monica has been diligently bringing bags of raised bed mix in her car home from work all of last week. All 64 bags. And then we did pick up 30 bags of brown mulch just while we ran to Home Depot for the other part that we needed. And I don't think it's gonna stretch very far in this area, but we're just gonna see how far it does. We'll start at the front and work our way back, and then at least we'll know next time I come how many bags I'll need to bring to finish up the area. And it's been a day, you guys. It feels hotter than it actually is. I think the high was supposed to be 80.
80?
Yeah.
Well, this backyard though.
It is like a little, like protected from all breeze sort of situation. All right, so now we're gonna do the drip, raised bed mix, mulch. And I'll show you what it looks like. All right, guys, we got it pretty much done. We were a little bit short on raised bed mix, but the 30 bags of mulch we picked up this afternoon stretched way further than we thought it was going to, and it looks so nice. Look at this space. Oh my goodness, compared to this morning.
I can't believe it.
Oh, Monica's watering because everything's like,
Yeah, everything's
give
going
me a drink,
please.
It's been pretty warm, but oh, so pretty.
It's beautiful.
So Monica decided on the brown mulch because she wanted a little bit of a contrast between what was in the raised bed mix and what we're going to be mulching with in the flower beds, which we'll be using a nice dark rich compost once we run all the drip lines. And you're planning on getting all this stuff planted pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping like this, just through this next week.
Okay, so those will probably be in the ground and ready
Yeah.
for us when we get ready to run drip.
Yeah.
The same day we will take care of all the, the thing I told you about back there, and we'll also run drip to the raised beds, which let me take you around and show you. So it was perfect. This tube right here goes underneath, and then it goes underneath all the stuff, and it actually reaches all the way back here. So we can just bring our water access over here with a black poly, tap into it, and then we come back this way, and both of the tubes ended up over here too. So there's this one right here, and then that one goes up into that bed. And you can see this is the bed we were a little bit short on.
Felt like I was bringing a lot home.
Yeah, I did.
All those trips.
How many can you fit in your trunk?
Car, I could fit 23 of those bags in my car just throughout the thing.
Was your car really weighed down?
Not too bad, actually.
That is so funny.
I was a little worried about it, but
23 bags.
yeah.
And as for the drip in the raised beds, we'll show you when we get ready to do this. I don't think I'm going to do drip tape in these like we did in Alyssa's raised beds because those were all just one shape. since we've got a little bit of a different shape going on, I'll put in a 1/2-inch coupler that's an elbow and run a 1/2-inch black poly just solid all the way to the other end, and then we'll tap into it with 1/4-inch brown drip tubing and run individual rows. I found that gives you the best coverage and the best efficiency with the water. We'll do that in all of them. And then over on this side, they're waiting till the very end, till we're done with the drip and the mulch to get the grass lawn seeded, because we tromped around on it an awful lot today, and we'll probably tromp around on it an awful lot when we get ready to do our next project. So grass will be last. So I hope I was able to get enough angles of the raised beds as we were putting them together. I knew we had so much work ahead of us today that I know I didn't move my camera around quite as much as I normally try to with projects like this, but I do like the we use 2x8s in this case because I couldn't find 2x10s or 2x12s. Ours are made from 2x12s. They just seem so substantial, and they've lasted so well for us, especially with those angle brackets inside. We have those in our beds, and even though we did mitered corners, which I would never do again, they are holding together, even though the wood looks like it's, you know, like swollen and like cracking apart on the corners at this point. They'll never come apart because they're being held together underneath by those metal brackets. And so far it feels like the copper caps are hanging on. I don't really want to reef on them because it says it's 24 hours cure time for that Gorilla. It's construction adhesive. It was really hard to get out of that tube. Monica was squeezing with all of her might.
It was making me shake.
Yeah, to get that out. But it seems like they're feeling pretty secure at this point. And I don't really feel like there's any way that there's going to be water getting up underneath them because there's no sprinklers in this area. And if we do, or when we do get rain, it'll just run off the sides of them. It's not going to be up underneath them. So I think we should be good with those, but I think that really does elevate the look of these beds. So this is kind of our DIY version of the cedar raised beds. Yeah. But do yourself a favor. If you just want a 3x3 or a 3x6 raised bed, get the copper capped raised beds from Gardener Supply, because this kind of project, it is fun. I was telling Monica that, was it yesterday? I can't remember, maybe it was today. Today feels like 2 days. 2 days worth of work. Anyway, I told her that these types of projects kind of give me life. I really like when I get into this. Like once you get past that initial phase of trying to figure it out and you're just kind of in the process of it, I really do enjoy it. But I think you would probably save yourself a heck of a lot of time and probably money by just buying them already done. So what are you thinking now for the center, now that you've got way more space than we thought?
I know, I did not think it was going to be this big. But I always, from the beginning, liked the idea of a little fountain. Mm-hmm. I'd like a little fountain that's on a pedestal, like maybe a little two or three tiered, like little fountain.
That would be pretty.
Because that'll make such a nice sound.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what's in my mind.
And eventually, maybe we thought about doing trellises with roses, but
just not really room.
No, well, you know, today, you guys, we stood back here. We measured everything from the arbor and then everything from the fence. We felt like the fence was more solid than the rocks. The rocks are not quite, you know, perfectly even. So all the measurements are based off that. And we already had to come in a little bit from the width of, not much though. Like this was what, 45? And we were 42 or something.
Yeah,
so we only had to come in a little bit. But we couldn't really come in a whole lot more and have it look right. So that didn't leave a tremendous amount of space over here, but we could do, you could do clematis, some kind of vine that doesn't.
Clematis would be really pretty.
Yeah.
Or I could start something over here that could kind of train.
Yeah.
Along like
you could do espaliered fruit trees.
Oh, espaliered fruit trees. I know Nick's really interested.
There's Nick over there. The builder of the trellis.
Yeah.
And the hauler of the mulch today. Yeah, so Nick was just telling Monica that he was interested in espalier. You got a book on it, right? That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's something. We decided against the roses right there because there just really isn't room. We would have to keep them really trimmed up, so it'd take a lot of work, and then I don't want to be bumping elbows with thorns.
No,
so
I think that's smart.
They could either do a vine that could grow along or the espalier. That would be fun.
Yay.
Super, that would look so cool.
It really would. And then over here, you guys, I don't know if I showed you already. Maybe I did. I'm just so excited about it. We had enough mulch to make it all the way over to the step. And I do think, so we left this, of course, because, you know, we're going to be reworking this. Once we're done with the rework, we're just going to get the same kind of mulch and go all the way over to the fence, even though, and all the other beds we're going to be using compost. Yeah, nice and tidy.
Yeah.
And then probably a bench right back here, which you have plenty of space for.
Well, we do, and Nick actually has one he wants to build. It's like an English park bench style.
Oh, nice.
And he found a pattern and everything that he wants to follow and build, so I think that'll probably be next year.
That's exciting.
Yeah. I'm so excited. It's just gorgeous.
And you guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back here soon to finish up with the rest of our stuff, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.